Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle and I'm the owner and creator of The 8th Salt. It is my handmade small business where I make and sell scrunchies and hair accessory type products, mainly through markets. In today's video, we will be having a market prep day. We will be sewing up a whole bunch of scrunchies. So we will mainly be sewing up some kids scrunchies in extra large and regular, and also some summer floral scrunchies as well, as we are in Sydney, Australia. So we are in summer at the moment. We're in the last week of January, so we do need to prep for all our markets coming up in Feb. I booked a whole bunch of markets for the first few weeks in February, or actually throughout February. So we do need to prep a lot of scrunchies for those markets. We will also be making a new size of scrunchies and introducing them to our product range. And that will be what we will most likely be calling our mini scrunchies. So our aim for today is to mock up a size for babies, so for really fine, thin baby hair. I do have a size called Petites, which I will show you. This is our petite size in scrunchies from our Bonnie collection, which is sort of what I will be aiming for our minis range, but obviously much smaller for baby fine hair. But that is sort of the idea for what we will be mocking up today. We will be using very thin elastic, so this type of thin elastic. I do also have, I think it's around 3mm or 4mm with elastic, which we will also be trying out, but we will most likely be using this because I've done it, as you can see, I've done a few other tests with it as well, and I think this will be a good fit. We will be mocking up some tests for those to get the final proportions and final size and see what works for really fine hair. We will probably mainly be making them out of our kids print scrunchies and out of our summer florals as well, because we got a lot of pinks and purples and yellows and bright colors for our summer floral range. We will be making some regular scrunchies to top up our summer florals as well from the end of last year. So we may as well make some minis out of them as well, and I think they will look pretty cute. If you've seen some of my other marker prep videos where we mocked up our Bonnie hair bows, you would know I usually use this navy blue white fabric. It's a whole round bolt of fabric that I use to mock up all my designs, regardless of what they are. That is what I have always used for many years. However, I have recently moved and I did not bring that bolt of fabric with me. I left that in my previous home. So we don't actually have any mock-up type fabric to use today. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to use actual proper fabric, cotton fabric that I usually use for our actual scrunchies, which is not ideal. I do have a pretty good idea of the size and proportions that I do want to use, so hopefully there won't be too much wastage with our good quality fabric. Yeah, I definitely don't want to use up too much of that for mocking up, and I obviously don't have any scraps to use either. Because I make scrunchies, I have a set sort of pattern and design and proportions that I know and use to use as much fabric as possible, because we try to minimize as much waste in fabric in our business as we can. We're gonna have to use some pretty good quality fabric to mock up, but yeah, hopefully we'll get the design pretty early on. It is around 9:30 at the moment. I usually use this time in the morning to cut up all the fabric and cut up all the elastic and get everything prepped to start sewing. We will have to start up the sewing machine just to sew up some quick rough mock-ups for the minis before we cut into our good quality fabric. Yeah, so it is actually the first time I will be sewing in this new studio that you saw me set up in a few vlogs ago. We will be testing out how this space works for us together. There are a few things that we're working through. For example, the pegboard, which is right in front of me, which I will show you in a second, has all my sewing tools and my fabric cutting tools. So that is actually, I'll just turn you guys around and show you what I mean. That is the pegboard in question with all my cutting tools and sewing tools. That is my sewing table there with my sewing machine, and then my cutting mat is here and my cutting station is here. Yeah, I don't know if it's very obvious to you all, but my cutting mat has warped so much. It's just all warped, literally everywhere. You can see the bumps here and just all over it. So I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to cut some straight fabric on this mat anymore. We definitely will need to purchase a new one going forward, because yeah, this has warped so much. I don't know how and I don't know why, but I've tried to flatten it out with my fabric tubs there, and I just stacked them on top for literally 3 days and it didn't flatten out. So that is what we will be using for today. I hope it still works. I hope I'm able to cut my fabric straight, because we do need them straight, some straight strips to sew up the scrunchies, but we will test it out and see. But yeah, so this is the first time we will be sewing in my new studio. For those of you who are new, this is what it looks like. That's the packing station, packing section, which I double up as my admin office space, my heat press, my coffee, which I cannot wait. Yeah, so that's some stuff I still need to sort out there. And then some of my bolts of fabric, the sewing table, and then all my, excuse the camera angles, but then all my fabrics are in these tubs. So I'll be grabbing those out for the summer florals are in there. However, we will be cutting into our kids print fabrics here. We will be introducing a whole bunch of new prints which I haven't previously. I purchased them a while ago and then haven't used them yet, I guess. So we will be introducing pretty much all our kids print scrunchies we will be making today will be new prints. So we'll be using that donut print there, the unicorn print, a whole bunch of these pinks in the florals, and then a bunch of these purples are new. So that daisy purple, the star purple, we'll be making some of the more of that mermaid purple, and then there's a whole bunch behind these as well. So we'll be cutting into some blues as well. So these are our kids print bolts. So yeah, that's what we will be using today. I'm gonna have to make the tough decision to pick which bolt we will be using to mock up with. Yeah, so unless I just use one of the fabrics in there, but we will see. We will do that now, and yeah, so let's get stuck into the day. I found this llama fabric. How cute is it? Oh, it's upside down. Well, so I'm gonna use this to mock up our minis. I think this is so cute. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but there's some glitter in there. It is so cute, and then they're all dressed differently. Alright, we will be using this to mock up, so I'm gonna just get stuck into it. These are mock-ups of our minis. They turned out so cute. I don't know if you noticed, but they were really, really, really fiddly to make. And I made them in 3 different methods. So this one was the burrito method, which I use for all my scrunchies. But because it was so small, it was really fiddly and really time consuming to make it using the burrito method. Even threading the elastic through it when it was in the donut shape was really difficult, and I had to thread it around 4 times because the elastic kept on getting pulled back in and getting caught because the loop was just so small. So that was the scrunchie made using the burrito method. I need to still close it up, so the seam's still open there, but we can do that later. That's the burrito method. And then, and then I sewed some up using the tube method. So these two are tube method. So that's the difference, but it was way simpler to make, way less fiddly, and took a lot less time. So we will probably be going with this method. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, you can't really tell the difference with the tube method and the burrito method. It's just the way it is closed. I had to close the seam on top, whereas here the seam is closed on the side. So that's the difference between those. I will need to practice it a little bit because it is the first scrunchie I will make using the tube method. This is what we will be sticking with. This is what they will be looking like. The llama fabric turned out so cute. If you can see the glitter on there. Yeah, so we are going to get into cutting up all our fabric in XLs, regular, and these minis in our kids prints and also our summer florals. We also need to cut up some elastics, but we'll probably be doing that a little later on. But yeah, I'm gonna pick all our fabrics from here. So that is mainly our kids print, and then we need to get the summer florals out of one of these containers or the one I pulled out behind me. But cutting on this mat, oh, it's very bright. Cutting on this mat, warped as it is, was pretty difficult. It doesn't look as bad on this side, but yeah, it's not flat, so, and it's like got bumps all over the middle and the edges have turned up, and yeah, it's not great. What I noticed with cutting on this table just from that mock-up is I don't have room on this side because I cut from left to right. So when I'm unrolling the bolts, I need room over here for the fabric to sit beyond the board. So I've kind of had to pull this closer to there to kind of make it work, but I mean, we're dealing with what we have, and this studio room is way better than what I had previously. So we just need to make some adjustments and figure out how to use this space efficiently. We are working it out together today because, as I mentioned, it is the first time I am sewing in this studio. It is already a little messy from my mock-ups and stuff, but yeah, I've pretty much used a whole bunch of stuff off my utilities board. These are my little labels that I'll be using for the minis, and then I have my regular larger ones in there for the regular and XLs. But yeah, so we're gonna pick all our fabric out now and then get to cutting. our fabric selection for today. Looking like it might go across tomorrow as well, but we've got all our kids prints and then our summer florals, or some summer florals anyway. But yeah, we've got quite a fair few. We've got some pinks, oranges, yellow, blues. That is obviously not a floral. It is a textured check, but it is one of our popular ones for summer, and we've completely run out, and I forgot about this fabric, so I found it in my summer tub of fabric, so I've pulled that out as well as an addition. But those are the summer florals that we will be getting through. I'll also be making some minis out of these as well. They're super cute, super girly. And then our gorgeous fabric here. How cute, llama fabric. I'm obsessed with this llama fabric. I love it. And then yeah, some whitish ones here for kids, and then our very, very pretty Bonnie as well. We will be topping up some of those. And then that is our stack for the kids. So literally all of these are brand new except our mermaid one. So all of them will be new, newly introduced into our product range. Super excited about this one. I got this over a year ago, this purple daisy one, and haven't used it yet, so excited to use that one now. We've got our donut fabric, unicorn, some bees or butterflies, I think they are. These are the bees, in pink and blue. That is the same as that in the blue. Some more bees in an aqua green, and then our llama fabric. So that is our selection for today. We'll be cutting up extra larges, regulars, and our new minis to look like this cutie pie here, out of almost all of these fabrics. So I'm going to put you guys off to the side. I'm going to be filming some reels as well for cutting the fabric, so you might see my phone in some clips, so that's what that is. As you can see, I've pulled the table off the wall a little bit. If you can see, there's a gap there, just to give me some more room for my cutting mat and to roll the bolt across the table. But this machine here is so heavy. I wasn't able to push it closer to the wall to give me that extra room here, but we will make do with what we have. I might transition the cutting mat to there, but this table is not that sturdy. But I mean, we'll see. We'll give it a go. We'll see how it works. I'm gonna put you guys off to the side, get my camera, my phone prepped for some reels, and then we will be cutting into all of these. I'm loving the colors. They're so pink, girly, and summery. But yeah, so let's get stuck into that. They're all cut out now. So we've got two piles. These are our XLs and the regulars all in one. So it's a mix of the kids and the summer florals here as well. So they're all cut up. And then this is the pile with all the minis. It doesn't look like much, but there's actually so many there. I didn't count how many, but there's a lot. This is gonna take a really long time to sew. I mean, whoa. But yeah, it took me all morning to cut all of these. And the sun's coming out, so I'm glad I just finished these. But there's so many. This is gonna take me ages to sew. And I've got more of the skinny, well, the minis, I should say, cut up here. But I mean, some strips made 6, so I don't really want to make 6 of the same pattern all at once. So there's some spares for another time when or if I run out of these. But yeah, so I'm gonna grab some lunch now, make a nice coffee, and then we will get back into the studio and sew these up. The studio is in a bit of a mess, so that's what it looks like now. I did tidy up the floor because I was throwing all the scraps and the remnant parts onto the floor, even though the bin is right there. So make it make sense. Anyway, I cleaned the floor, but we do need to put all these bolts back under here and then tidy this up and get it nice and clean for us to sew. So I'm gonna grab lunch, then we will head back into here and get all that done. Morning, guys. It's actually the next day. This is where I ended up yesterday. I was sewing until really late and managed to get all the tags in all of them, and I sewed all the minis in their tubes. These are all the mini scrunchies here. So there's a whole stack of them there. There's a lot. We will be counting how many scrunchies there are once they're all done. And then these are the regular ones. Well, that one's an XL, and then that one is also an XL, and then that's the regular. So they're all sewn together with the tags in them. There, if you can see that. So they're all done. Took me until really late yesterday evening. The sun was going down. I'm like, why is it getting dark in here? And then I realized how late it was. So I just called it a night. So it's actually the next day. Got a fresh iced coffee just there waiting. So right now I'm gonna film some reels with these tubes because they look kind of cute, and then we will be cutting them all apart because yeah, they're just a string at the moment, and then we'll need to flip the minis inside out so we can thread them with the elastic. So I'm gonna get to doing that now. Not sure if I'll be doing that at the desk or at the chair over there, but we'll see. But that is the plan for now. So cutting these all apart and the minis, turning them inside out, and then I'll need to sew all the scrunchies in the burrito method. So that's probably going to take me a little while, but you probably saw that I ran out of labels yesterday and cut up some more. So these are my labels. They're satin labels that I outsource and I get printed for me. So this is what they look like once I've cut them up, but when I order them, they actually look like this. So they come in a roll like this, and then I just cut them apart. So yeah, you would have seen me doing that yesterday because I did run out, but yeah, that's what they look like. That's my large size label, and then my smaller labels are here. So exactly the same, just smaller, and then the rolls for them are down here somewhere. See if I can dig one out. Yeah, so it's just the same but smaller. But yeah, so that's what they look like. Okay, let's get stuck into the day. I know my desk is a bit messy, so we're gonna have to tidy up soon. That's what it's looking like now. Excuse my ring light from the reels, but that's the situation. Yeah, so we're gonna have to tidy up a bit, but yeah. All right, I need some coffee because yeah, I'm mumbling, so let's get to mixing that, and then we'll get stuck into day 2 of market prep. Is everything all cut up? So we've got our XLs and regulars in kids prints and some summer florals. They look so colourful and so cute. Got purples, yellows, lots of pinks. Got some oranges in there. I'm obsessed with these donuts. I bought that donut fabric ages ago, so it's nice to be able to use that now. And this llama fabric is so cute. But yeah, that's all of those. And then these are the minis, which we still need to flip inside out, so we need to turn them the right way, but we will do that later when we are ready for getting them all elastic. But right now we are going to sew all of these in the burrito method to get them into the donut shape, into the tubes. So yeah, we've got a pretty big stack here. So I got my coffee there. It was so strong. I use instant coffee and my container was finishing, so I just tipped what was left into my cup and it was way more than a teaspoon. So I added some more almond milk in there just to tone down the coffee a bit. But yeah, so we're gonna get to sewing this stack. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but we will be doing it together, so let's get stuck into that. All the tubes have been sewn. These took me hours and hours and hours and hours, but they're all done now. The colors are so cute. I'm obsessed with them. But yeah, we need to flip all of these now. So we need to turn them inside out through there. And then I need to flip these as well because they're still on the sewing side. But yeah, they're done. I ran out of a whole bobbin. I had to change it out. So luckily I had my container there. But yeah, I went through 3 bobbins as well. And whatever was left on this. So that's all changed out now. That's the reel for it. And this is where I store my bobbins. So I went through 3 just sewing all of this. So I pre-fill them and then that way they're ready for me when I'm sewing. So yeah, that's where I keep them nice and on hand, right there next to the sewing machine. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, these were vibrating. So these sit up in here. And then because I was sewing, these were like sliding out and then they actually both fell onto the table and freaked me out because they just, yeah, slammed down. So I had to pick everything all up, all the tags that fell all over the table and the floor. And yeah, but yeah, these are done. I'm gonna take some photos and some reels and then we need to flip them out. And then I also need to cut a whole bunch of elastic because I usually put my elastics in here and that's literally all I have. So I gotta find where I have a giant reel like this of elastic. So I gotta find that, which is probably in that container. And then we gotta cut a whole bunch of elastic for the regular scrunchies and then this is for the minis. So we gotta cut these out as well. And then yeah, so that is where we're up to. Looking very cute, very colorful. I won't show you what the floor looks like because it's full of thread. You may have noticed some different angles as well while I was sewing all of this. That was because I film using my phone, my iPhone, and my storage ran out while I was filming. I actually don't even know when it stopped. It just stopped without me noticing. And then I opened the window because it was getting pretty stuffy, and then looked on my screen and I had a message saying storage is full, and it obviously stopped recording. So that was a bit of a shame. I hope I recorded enough for you all to see, but I'll find out soon enough. But I'm sure it will be okay. I had to stop stowing and then go through all my storage and move some onto my laptop and all that jazz. That took a little bit, but anyway, we got there in the end. We're gonna get flipping these after filming some reels, and yeah. Morning, guys. It's actually the next day. Yeah, I finished pretty early in the studio yesterday because I went out to dinner last night. I had some wood-fired pizza and some donuts. There were those decadent donuts with all the trimmings. That was so good. It's actually Sunday, and pretty early. It's around 9 a.m. for sewing. I didn't mention earlier, but we started our market prep on a Friday, so it is now day 3 of market prep. So yeah, it is Sunday. This is the state of it all. I'll actually flip the camera around and show you what it all looks like. Yeah, it's really hot today. It's 39 Australian degrees today, which is really hot. I have the AC on, but it is not ducted, so the main AC is in the living room, so I've left the door open, hoping it will kind of trickle through into the studio room, but it is super hot. So if the aircon doesn't venture into the studio, we will be doing as much as we can in the living room where the AC is. So things like putting the elastic through, folding under the minis and things like that, anything, and cutting thread, whatever we can do that doesn't need the sewing machine or needs to be done in the studio, We might be getting that all done in the living room where it's nice and chilled. That's an update. I'll flip the camera around for you and show you where I left off with all the scrunchies yesterday. And then, yeah, we will pick up our market prep from there. This is the state of our sewing desk. I actually did clean and tidy up everything yesterday before I left to go out. I vacuumed the floors and then did a quick tidy of the desk as well. So it's actually looking pretty good, pretty neat and tidy for us to get stuck back into some work today. In terms of the sewing, I did get all the sewing done yesterday. So I sewed all the scrunchies in the burrito method. So they're now all in this donut ring shape, ready for elasticing. So they are all done. They took me almost the entire day to get them sewn through. I haven't counted how many scrunchies we have here with the minis, but we will be counting them once we finish them. I am aiming to get this all done today because it is day 3 of prep. So we do need to get these finished today. And then these are all our minis in the tubes. Whoops, just drew up one. But yeah, so they're all now in the tubes, and I've flipped them around. And there goes another one. And then I've tucked in, I don't know if that's focusing, but I've tucked in one of the edges as well and sewn it tucked in. So that is all done. As I was flicking through the pile this morning, I found a few that I haven't flipped over that were in this pile, so we need to flip them around as well. There's quite a few, and if there's that many still in there, there's probably a few more in there as well, so we need to get that sorted. But that is where we left off yesterday. I don't have any elastics pre-cut. I keep all my elastic in here. Just make sure that is in focus. So yeah, this is where I keep all my pre-cut elastics, and usually this is pretty full, so that's literally all I have left. I buy my elastic on a giant roll, so we need to find out where that roll is and get to cutting a whole heap of elastic. This is the elastic we'll be using for the minis. We need to cut up some of this as well. But yeah, that is where we're at. So I'm gonna find our roll of elastic and get to cutting up some of that. And then we will probably be elasticing them in the living room because it's sweltering in this room. I can put the fan on, but I mean, it'll just be background noise. We will see. I did want to sit here. That was the point of this chair, to elastic and cut threads here. But yeah, this is the state of the studio. Yesterday I did tidy it up, as I mentioned, but Okay, we've just had to take a pretty long break because the phone I use for Reels ran out of storage. So I had to upload, import everything onto my laptop, which has taken a really long time. It's almost done, but I mean, look, why? So I've had to, yeah. And I had to charge my usual phone as well, which I use to film these videos. Anyway, this is where we have left off. Just make sure that is in focus. But yeah, we are almost done, I think. I think there's a whole bunch of tubes under this pile, but we've almost elasticed all the regular and XLs. We still need to do the minis, and we actually still need to cut out the elastic for them as well, because I forgot to do that when we were cutting out our usual elastic. But take a look at this donut scrunchie. How cute does it look? That is the XL in the donuts. Love it. But yeah, that is the state. We got a fresh iced coffee there. So I'm just gonna get back to finish elasticing these, and then I need to cut up thread, elastic thread for that. So let's get back stuck into that, but I'm gonna mix this iced coffee, so let's do that first. We are done with the scrunchie making. I did a quick title check. There's around 150 there. Yeah, that's not including a bunch that I didn't end up sewing there, so disregard that. But that is all of them. So we got the minis there. Got my tags sewn in there. We got some regular size and then we got some XLs as well. So that is all pretty full, very colorful. for the kitties, and then some summer prints as well, some florals. So that is all done. As you may have noticed, it's actually the next day, so we are on day 4 of market prep. But yeah, it does take some time. We did also tidy up the studio, so this is what it looks like. Just make sure the lighting's okay. And then we got a nice clean sewing desk for later. So this is the pile I mentioned that I didn't sew. So these are the ones that needed to be flipped but got lost in the pile of scrunchies, and I missed them when I was flipping them all. And then these are some cut up spares for the minis as well. I didn't want to make too many of the same patterns, so these are spares for next time we sew up some minis. I need to find a spot to put these because, yeah, I don't have any drawers or cabinets or anything. I need to find a box or something to put that in, but that's what we got there. But these minis, they took a really long time to sew. I sewed them using the tube method. All the method I used to make them was different to how I make my regular scrunchies. So I used the tube method, and then I double tied the string elastic, which took off a fair few layers off my fingers. They're all done now. They took a really long time. Super fiddly because I was so small and getting all these tucked in and stuff, but they're done now and looking pretty cute. So there's a whole bunch of them here in some florals, some kid prints. There's our little baby floral. But yeah, so they're done. So I thought I'd flip the camera around and give you all a bit of an update on everything. So the first update is using the new studio for the first time to sew. I have used it to do admin work and social media and all that stuff, but it was the first time I got to actually sew in the space. Yeah, it was pretty good. I do like the layout that I have at the moment. One of my main concerns was the utilities board, which is there because it holds my sewing tools and my fabric cutting tools, and then my cutting station's there, excuse the lighting. And I was worried that it'll be a little, you know, inconvenient and things going back and forth grabbing all the tools that I need. But I mean, it wasn't bad. You just got to make it work with this because we are working with a bit of a small space. It is quite a small room. It's around 2.5 by 3 meters. So the best spot for the pegboard is probably there. So I'm just going to leave it there for now anyway, because yeah, I do think it is the best spot for it. I am liking the space at the moment, so I think it worked pretty well. There are a few minor adjustments that I did make with the cables, which I fixed. Another update I wanted to mention was that in my previous studio vlog, I asked you all if you wanted me to do a live on TikTok or on YouTube for folding my bolts of fabric. And I put a poll up on my Instagram as well for you all to go there and vote. And I got an overwhelming amount of responses just saying to put all my bolts of fabric, which are these all down here under the desk, and just to put them up onto this shoe rack thing here, which I actually did try off camera, but it did not work at all. The bolts of fabric just felt really heavy and really bulky and darkened the space quite a lot, and just felt like they were towering over the room. So they did not last 2 minutes up on that shoe rack, and I just took them down. I didn't even take a photo or a video to show you all. I just took them straight down and then put them back under the table. But yeah, that did not work out, unfortunately. So yeah, the fabric bolts will be staying there for the time being. The original plan was to buy a Billy bookshelf, but I haven't been able to find one on Facebook Marketplace, and I've been looking for quite a few weeks. So living here is temporary, so I didn't really want to buy any large pieces of furniture to put in here and then have to worry about whether they will fit in a new space or not. An update on our markets as well. It is Monday today, so we will be heading back to markets this weekend. We will be doing 2 markets this weekend, Saturday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. I still haven't bought any trestle tables yet for our markets because my previous 2 trestle tables broke at our last market. So that is something I still need to invest in and purchase before we actually trade, which I will have to do this weekend. I'd also like to thank you all so much for 950 followers on YouTube. We have almost reached our goal of 1,000 followers, which is awesome. So thank you all so much, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. It will really help me out and keep me motivated to make all these videos for you all. But yeah, super excited for almost reaching that milestone and can't wait until we do. If you do like these videos, do make sure to like them so I know what sort of content you are all interested in. But that is it for this market prep video. Thank you all for spending these last 4 days with me. I hope you enjoyed watching me creating all these scrunchies for our upcoming markets in February. I have a lot of market videos installed for you all. So yeah, do make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!